She's a fashion blogger, model, and entrepreneur.
She's amazing.
The latest tips on fashion, beauty, wellness, travel, and her lifestyle. And now, here's the founder and creator of Not Basic Blonde, Olasha.
Hi loves, welcome back to another episode of Not Basic Blonde podcast. And today I have interesting guests like always, the power couple, Anthony and TereZa Lolli. Anthony and TereZa Lolli are the power couple behind Biohack Yourself Media, the fastest growing independent health and wellness news platform in the world, reaching millions with expert-driven journalism, science-backed content, and award-winning storytelling. But before they became health media disruptors, they were in survivor mode. Anthony Lolli is a real estate mogul and best-selling author of The Heart of the Deal, who built a $1 million empire from scratch. But at 315 pounds, facing major health decline, he made the radical decision to document his 125-pound transformation on camera, launching the now viral documentary Fat Lolli to Six-Pack Lolli, which became a global phenomenon on Prime Video and Apple TV. TereZa is the Armenian-born actress, recording artist, mother, and editor-in-chief who turned postpartum hormonal collapse into wellness revolution, winning 2 Bikini World titles and documented in all films like the Super Lollies, Skin Dip, and She Lead. Together, they founded Lolli Brands Entertainment, producing more than a dozen health and transformation documentaries, and they're raising 2 young trailblazers, Love and Legend Lolli, who are already reporting on health, news, building media projects, and investing in real estate, all before age 10. In 2024, their influence reached national heights when Biohack Yourself Media was selected as exclusive health press at RFK General Maha Inauguration Ball. They're not content creators, they're immersive documentaries, performance media entrepreneurs turning pain into purpose and purpose into platforms. Hi, Anthony.
Hi.
Welcome to Not Basic Blonde podcast.
Thank you for having me. Yes.
Such an impressive background and things you're doing is impressive.
Thank you. Yes.
So we would love to know more about you. How did it all start?
Well, it all started, much like you said, it was a pain to purpose story. So I used to be 315 pounds. Very successful entrepreneur, had built and sold multiple businesses in real estate, and I didn't have my health. I had wealth, but I didn't have my health. And the real wealth is health. So I had to make a decision, and that decision was made because my wife and my family encouraged me to get healthy. So the way I got healthy was losing weight by hiring a coach. We did a documentary about it. And it turns out documentaries really impact people. When they watch them, they watch to learn and apply. So we had done a very viral documentary called From Fat Lolli to Six-Pack Lolli. It was watched almost 100 million times. And it was during the pandemic that we released it. And in that documentary, we showed it all. We showed how I lost the weight, how I had to get loose skin surgery, all the highs and lows, all the methods that I took. And then I eventually competed and won. So from that, we recognized that the power of the media, the power of storytelling can really help change the narrative and change someone's mindset to start doing something about their issues. So that led to a series of other award-winning films that my wife and I produced, directed, and also starred in, which were very experiential. Most documentaries, there's someone's telling someone else's story. It's just a lot of talking heads, but there's no real experience. So we decided to tell the story from our point of view, start working with the people. And we did a documentary that was called Biohack Yourself that exploded. It's an award-winning film, and it resonated at the right time. We released it right before the president was inaugurated. And after the president was inaugurated, he took on Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with the Make America Healthy Again movement. And the pendulum has changed. People are now thinking about health. Because of the pandemic and all the other things that have happened, people are now more conscious about what they put in their body, what they eat, what they inject. So now they're thinking, okay, I want to know who's the owner of this company. I want to know Why should I eat something that's not naturally from the earth? And I want to know what the effects are of this medicine I'm taking. So we created a platform that we wished existed, because even though I lost the weight, we found other challenges. My wife had hormone imbalances. My son suffered mold toxicity. So we didn't know what was wrong with him. He was misdiagnosed 9 times. In fact, they wanted to put him all sorts of medication that would have made him possibly autistic. Our daughter had a golf ball sized lymph node swollen on her neck. So we needed answers and we couldn't find them. So in our quest to find answers, we filmed it all and we turned it into a documentary called Biohack Yourself. And now the documentary exploded, and now it's a news organization. It's a print publication. We have 20 journalists that go around to events. We have superstars. And in our world, a superstar is not Taylor Swift. A superstar is a doctor or a homeopath or a functional medicine practitioner that's teaching us how to live longer and live healthier. So we have people like Dr. Daniel Amen on the cover of our magazine, or Gary Brecka on the cover of our magazine, or even someone like Laura Trump who's on the cover of our magazine now. And inside the magazine, we have professional academics, practitioners that are contributing to the platform.
That's incredible. That's so impressive. And also, how did you start with your real estate background going into biohacking? I mean, of course, you were forced to start it because of the obstacles, but also it was such a huge transition.
Yes, it was a transition. But, you know, media and entertainment is something that I knew a lot about. I used to invest in a lot of projects and films. I had done some investments with Spike Lee and other characters that I was always behind the scenes as an executive producer, which is a fancy word for the guy who puts up the money. But those were great, but they weren't like the type of work that we do here. So we did a documentary called Skin Deep. It was about loose skin surgery. What to do after you lose weight, right? Especially for men. There's answers for women, but for men, it's a little bit different. So we did a documentary where we helped this guy who lost 300 pounds, who couldn't afford the loose skin surgery. So we did the loose skin surgery on him. He looked amazing, won 2023 Transformation Champion of the World, got married, and now has a baby, has a beautiful family, changed his whole entire life. He had to make that decision to change his life to lose weight. But once he did that, he was still living with the loose skin, a lot of loose skin. So, you know, that kind of work allows other people to say, man, because that was my excuse. I didn't want to lose weight because then what about the loose skin and this and that? So these are things that kind of check off the boxes and allow people to find a path to get healthier.
And also when you, of course, lose weight and look great, confidence goes up. And from confidence going up, you can achieve more as far as business as well. And
so much more, so much more. It's funny, we're on a group chat. It's called Transformation Champions. I'm friends with all the big transformation champions from around the world. And we talk quite often. And he's now going to be a police officer. He just passed the academy. Something that he would never be able to do. Now he's going to be a nice police officer in Florida.
Oh, it's incredible.
Yeah.
And as far as entrepreneurship, how to achieve success? Like, what's the best advice for entrepreneurs?
The best advice for entrepreneurs is self-education. You want to educate yourself. Right now, you have access to podcasts. You have access to books and information. You have access to courses. So you want to eliminate the ignorance tax. Learn and really do a deep dive into the subject matter of what you're trying to be an entrepreneur in. But also, I don't think you should forget about being an intrapreneur. What is an intrapreneur? An intrapreneur is somebody, for example, the owner of this studio, right? Yeah. He's not necessarily a podcaster, but he's facilitating the wave of podcasting. So whenever there's a gold rush, you want to be a manufacturer of the pickaxe. And right now, the big gold rush is everyone doing podcasts. So this person is an entrepreneur, but an intrapreneur at the same time. Yeah. So you don't want to ignore the opportunities to take advantage of a marketplace without having to be the King Kong.
Sorry. Oh, that's true. That's a great advice. And also by doing biohacking, how did you even start? I mean, of course, you have transformation, all that, but Biohack Yourself, how was it invented?
So Biohack Yourself was basically a name that my wife came up with when we were talking about biohacking. and we started exploring, and this word kept coming up, and we recognized that nobody can biohack you. You have to biohack yourself. You have to be your own health detective. And that's the most important ingredient. And I recognized that when I lost the weight, nobody could eat the meals for me. Nobody could exercise for me. No matter how much money you have or how much help you have to do it yourself. And the same thing goes for health. When you think about some of the richest people right now, for example, Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, his mother just passed away 2 months ago, young, Alzheimer's and dementia, right? You would think someone with money, access and information, but he didn't have the right information. We don't know what it was. But I would say that if you surround yourself with enough intelligent people, if you're in that world, then you can take ownership of your health trajectory. Another famous person, Alex Hormozi, is a very famous marketer. His mother just passed away. So these are people that have reached the pinnacle of success, but yet the most invaluable thing, family, they're unable to save. With all the money, all the intelligence, all the podcasts, all the books, all the recognition. So for us, health is the true wealth. And we wanted to become that platform that allows you to build your medical board, your health board. These are the people we've worked with that have helped us. And we're sure that somewhere along the way, they can help you.
And of course, nowadays, health is wealth, because it's definitely, sometimes people say it's even luxury to be without the phone.
Correct.
Because nowadays we're consumed by phones all the time, and we have to do something all the time, and it's just to take social media detox, even that, it's just, I guess.
Yeah, it's called tech-free wellness.
Yeah.
The reason why we invented the magazine for Biohack Yourself, this is one of the oldest forms of file transfer. You read it and it's transferring information to your brain, but you don't need blue light blocking glasses. There's no EMF, no Wi-Fi. You could take it with you into a hyperbaric chamber. Yeah. In fact, we have hyperbaric chamber companies that are advertised here. We have when you open this magazine, you can learn about all sorts of different things. Besides the contributors, you can learn about the products that we vet. So it's important that once you subscribe to the religion of health, you want to know where to invest your money, your time, and your eyes. So we start you off with tech-free wellness, because this is your first biohack.
Yeah.
Take this, turn off the phone, disconnect, read. Read something that's not going to all of a sudden change because there's a new president. A lot of websites, depending on who's the president or who's in the administration, change their copy.
Yeah.
This is permanent. So you can be sure that the words on here were intentional. So a lot of times people just want to feel safe and secure that the information is not going away.
Yeah, that's incredible to have the print copy that you can physically have it and read it, because nowadays it's all electronic now.
Exactly.
And as far as like biohack yourself, what are the main factors? What are the main points? How do you biohack yourself?
So one of the things that we want to always express, that you don't need a lot of technology to biohack yourself. Biohacking yourself is about removing everything that's already hacking your body. So a lot of times that could be the water that you're drinking, the environmental toxins, whether that's, endocrine disrupting chemicals, plug-ins, perfumes, lotions, all those things that maybe your body can't handle that toxic load. So we do something where we say, test, don't guess. In this particular magazine, we have multiple different companies that do genetic testing, and they do blood testing. So we have different advertisers that are here that you can go and do business with and get a blood test, a remote blood test, or you can get a genetic test. And that'll let you know what is going on with your biomarkers, what is going on with your genetics, so you can see what's broken. And then immediately you can work with a functional medicine practitioner that will help you translate what that means. A lot of times people take vitamins. They take these pills. But why? Why are you taking vitamin C? Why are you taking vitamin D? Is there a deficiency, or you're just taking it because they said you need to take it?
Just because they said it.
I'll give you a good example, a personal example. when I did my test, I had an overabundance of vitamin D. So my doctor said, you got to stay away from the sun. Are you taking vitamin D pills? I said, no. So the way my genetics are, I should stay away from, because it can become toxic. Imagine I was taking vitamin D pills. Wow. So you cannot play, everyone is different. I could have a twin brother, you could have a twin sister, and her entire protocol is going to be different than yours. So that's the number one biohack is test, don't guess.
And as far as like new technologies, what do you think about NAD, all the other latest and greatest?
There's so many different, there's red light therapies, there's PEMF, there's NADs. Now, there's so many arguments for and against these things. You know, if you talk to a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So if you talk to the NAD expert, they think the NAD is the soft. But again, it boils down to really understanding why are you taking the NAD? And what is it in conjunction with? A lot of times, simply changing your diet, simply changing your drinking, simply getting enough sun or red light, or removing stress from your life allows you to feel better. Was it the NAD? Or was it the divorce? You know what I mean? Or was it the fact that you got the job? Yeah. Sometimes you lose a job and you're stressed out and you have to pay the rent. That could be the tipping point that really breaks your whole immune system. Yeah. So we don't know what we don't know. That's why it's always good to have a coach with you, a functional medicine practitioner that's coaching you along your journey. We do it all the time, especially women. They have coaches for a lot of different things, makeup coaches, hair coaches, even like hairdressers. Like they won't do their own hair. They go to a professional to do their hair or their eyebrows, right? Yeah. You need to do that with your health. The same way you would not dare to do anything, same thing you should do that with your health.
Because marketing industry is huge and we just go for the most advertised product because there are so many great reviews and so many great advertisement points, and you see this product everywhere. It's right on your face like 10 times a day, in text message, in email, in Instagram, everywhere. So I guess like you start trusting it.
Well, they're falling in love with the results that are being promoted, but those results may not be your results, right? That's why it's always good to know what you need. Yeah. You know, biohacking is not a one size fits all. It's called bio-individual. It's individual to you. And the good news is in 2025, everything can be custom, like a custom suit or a custom dress.
Yeah, that's what I love the most about this. What actually inspired your huge transformation?
My wife, my children, and actually the fact that I was so successful and I didn't have my health. To me, that was not really success. You know, I had sold my company, I'd sold multiple companies. I had achieved what most people aspire to achieve. And I had retired, really. But I was health bankrupt. And so it was really me wanting to live a healthy life for my wife, my children, my mother, who was 81 at the time. She's 86. So, you know, I wanted to really do something where I could be a real husband, a real son, a real anchor to my family, not a burden.
Yeah, that's incredible. That's the best motivation.
Yes.
And what helps you to stay, what helped you to build a huge empire? Like, how do you stay resilient?
I think, you know, we had just recently interviewed Andrew Tate, and we were in Dubai. We spent a whole day with him. First of all, he's a really amazing guy, a gentleman's gentleman. And we were in his penthouse, the
Despite
Pagani.
his bad reputation?
No, he hasn't. Actually, he's defeated all of those. Really? In fact, when you think about it, the president of the BBC, which was really after him, just stepped down because apparently there was an issue with how they were changing the topic for the president of the United States. So there's a lot of things politically and that he talks about quite often, but he's been really kind of like beating all of the different charges. He talked about the fact that he was the most investigated guy and they found nothing. When someone is looking through your files, your emails, this, that, why is he not in jail still? Why is he not charged with anything yet? So there's, to me, those are clues. So, but we were not there to talk about his whole issues in the past. We were there to talk about his health. Because what I recognize with somebody like Andrew Tate, and by the way, we also interviewed Brian Johnson. These are two ends of the spectrum.
Wow.
But somebody like Andrew Tate is a candidate for stress.
Yeah.
How did somebody with so much stress, I don't think it gets more stressful than being the most Google guy, the most hated guy by at least a group of people, and whoever loved and admired him was shadow banned. Then he was thrown in jail, not just by himself, but with his brother. And then his whole entire family, friends, were also persecuted. That's enough stress to kill anybody. That's enough stress to turn off your immune system. So we wanted to speak to him and wanted to know what his secrets were to stay healthy. He came out of jail stronger. He was doing 1,000 push-ups a day. He was, doing all of that stuff. He looked in better shape than when he went into prison. And he came out glowing, right? And he didn't have access to anything, really. And he also talked about a health scare that he had. So, what we recognize is that health is bipartisan. It's a subject matter that doesn't matter whether you're Republican or Democrat, whether, you've been accused of this or you're celebrated for that. Yeah. You need to have good health, because in life, you're going to go through challenges. It could be the death of a parent, the death of a sibling. It could be anything. Now, on the other end of the spectrum, Brian Johnson, he's a very famous guy. We interviewed him. He's going to be on the cover of our other next magazine as well. And he told us a lot of his health secrets. And this is a guy that's trying so many different things and realizing and unloading the things that he knows it doesn't work. So he's doing something different. Whereas Andrew Tate is very natural. He doesn't like to use any of these things. One of the main takeaways, and we talk about it during the interview, is he protects his gut. He's never taken a painkiller in his life. And we know that there's a gut-brain connection. Yeah. So imagine if he had a weak gut. And if you listen to the expression, don't you have the guts? Don't you have the guts? Yeah. It takes a lot of guts to go through what that man went through and come out. And so we got a chance to meet him, hung out, and my son and my daughter and my wife, we spent time with his family. An amazing, amazing guy. My wife, almost similar to you, by looking on the outside, you're always going to get these impressions like, oh, he's the opposite of what anybody thinks. A true gentleman. He greeted us at the door. We were surprised. We would think he was sensitive, but he greeted us at the door. He was actually moving into his new apartment. So we were the first ones. And we took a picture, and he framed. We gave him a picture. He framed. He put it in his wall. So we're like the first picture on his wall. He's a very nice guy. What an amazing experience to meet somebody like that after the fact. He's like a living legend, And then to be able to get health advice, because stress, sometimes people, not only do their businesses die because of stress,
Stress ages you, and
it ages you.
Rough on your body.
Right. So for us, it was important. We wanted to share with the world what his secrets were. And that's what the Biohack Yourself brand is doing now. We're also at big events. We were just with Laura Trump at the Trump International Golf and in Jupiter in Florida. We were with her yesterday. She did a magazine signing. Tito Ortiz was there from the UFC. All the big people. We were there supporting a warrior foundation. It's an amazing, incredible foundation for soldiers that have issues, and they're also it's called the Warrior's Choice Foundation, and they help soldiers through biohacking with modalities and different places, because now we have the technology. So we're so proud that we're now invited to be news at these events, and we're meeting all of these incredible people, interviewing celebrities and superstars, not about, how do you make a living or what kind of watch do you have, but how are you staying healthy? Or how have you had any health issues with your family, and how did you overcome those? That's real information for us. That's real news.
You became a millionaire by the age of 23. What are the key principles that helped you?
The key principles were mentorship. So I had to be resourceful in finding mentors. So how I became successful was through real estate. But what really is access. Proximity is power. So what did I do? So the real estate agent license allows you to do things that most people don't get a chance to do. The only time you're in the homes of millionaires and billionaires is if you're a maid, a burglar, or a real estate agent. Those are the only 3 times. The maid, they just get paid for cleaning. The burglar, he's stealing. The realtor is actually providing value. They're either selling the home or renting the apartments. So now you have access to communicate with the decision maker, whoever's signing the contract or the exclusive. So I took that access as this is going to be my board of advisors. Once I have this person, they're listening to my pitch, I'm going to leave a good first impression. So I was very active in the business, and I assembled a very, very big, large group of board of advisors of successful entrepreneurs, millionaires and billionaires, multifamily owners, people that I'm still friends with today that rooted for me when I was young, Anthony Lolli, and now call me. Like one of them called me this afternoon, was like, I love what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. I want to do real estate deals with you now. I want to do these wellness centers. And that's because I was speaking into existence what I wanted. I was building a team of people that were going to support me and mentor me along the way because they saw a little bit of themselves in me.
Wow, that's impressive. And Biohack yourself events in Miami, this is part of your events? Or?
So there are a lot of biohacking events. So there are many in Miami. We support them. So we're the news and media. So whenever there's like events, like we're friends with the owners of Biohack Miami, really nice couple. They do rooftop events. We were just with them in Saudi Arabia. We produced the news and media for this event called Xenos Health Summit. It was in Saudi Arabia. It was the first of its kind. So we have a client, it's called Xenos, and he's an advertiser in the magazine. He's a personal friend, Mazen. He's from Miami. He owns 25 pharmacies. So he came up with this product. It's like a supplement called Xenos, and Xenos Health. And he advertised in the magazine. He was in the Dr. Daniel Amen magazine. He was in the Gary Brecka magazine. And lo and behold, he created a summit where he got everybody. I mean, Dr. Mark Hyman was there, Gary Brecka was there, Dr. Vonda Wright, Tim Gray, I mean, everyone, Amy Shaw. So he invited Biohack Yourself, not only because we're friends, but we're also a large media company. So we got a chance to interview all the speakers and really provide media attention coverage to that event. So we are the news and media for all the events. So an example, there's a conference called Hack Your Health that's happening in Tampa, the largest biohacking conference. We're the media company that's at the Hack Your Health conference. So we're our journalists there. All the speakers are either people that are in the Biohack Yourself or Shield documentary. It's a women's health documentary. Or the exhibitors are already existing advertisers and incredible modalities that we support and do marketing for. But then we go around and we interview all of the people and we ask them why they're there, what their companies are about, breakthrough brands. So we're like the Rolling Stones for the industry. Anybody new, like the Rolling Stones magazine, they would report on new music, new artists. So we're reporting on new modalities, new companies, new approaches.
Wow, that's an incredible concept. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, thank you. I mean, it's really allowed us to be inside doors. You know, my wife and I are very lucky. We have a lot of good relationships with top people. You know, we produced the ball for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. During the inauguration, there were 2 big balls, the MAGA ball, the Make America Great Again, and the MAHA ball, Make America Healthy Again ball. So we were asked by Del Bigtree and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the MAHA to produce the ball on Inauguration Day in Washington. So we had Jordan Peterson there, Russell Brand, everybody was there. And then our journalists were there interviewing everybody. On the red carpet, we had Step and Repeats, Biohack Yourself, Maha. My wife and I and our kids, we stood on stage and we held hands together in the Maha symbol. Because the Maha symbol is a father, a mother, and 2 children in the middle. Coincidentally, our kids are the same size as the symbol. And we didn't realize that until after we saw the pictures. We were like, wow, this is like divine intervention. And we realized that health is bipartisan because there were people at that ball that were also Democrats. They were there because Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was at one point a lifelong Democrat. So they were on the side of health. They were there to support Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who, by the way, was not confirmed yet. Dr. Oz was there. Marty Makary was there, who's now the head of the FDA. Dr. Bhattacharya was there. All the new people, they were not confirmed. So we got a chance to go there and handshake every single guest, welcome them. My wife was wearing a beautiful yellow dress. I was wearing a tuxedo. And we got a chance to really meet and greet everybody and shepherd them into the ball. It was a beautiful night, a night to remember, and it was a celebratory night. Everybody had their fingers crossed, hoping that Bobby would get confirmed. And, of course, he got confirmed. And now we're here today, and people are now benefiting from it. You know, just yesterday, Marty Makary announced that women, the testosterone replacement therapy is now no longer on the black box list.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right?
Yeah.
We did a documentary called Shield. She Healed. In this magazine, we talk about the documentary. We're actually going to have a premiere at the Cannes Film Festival. So
I usually attend those.
yeah, you should come. I want you to come to the premiere. It's going to be the biggest thing. I mean, we normally throw like some of the biggest galas out there, and you'll be on the VIP list. Gary Brecka's in it. His wife Sage is in it. I mean, so many people. Elena Cardone from 10X Health. Grant Cardone is her husband. JJ Virgin. All the superstars are in this documentary. Lisa Nichols is a very famous speaker. She's in The Secret, many different things. She's an amazing person. So, star-studded documentary. We talked about the fact that a lot of these women need hormone replacement therapy. They need it. Yeah. And so these are the things that would not have happened if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was not in place. Think about what's going to happen to the next generation of women now that these new laws are passing, or no longer bad food dyes in the thing. So we're so happy that this is happening now in the world.
Wow, that's very incredible. That's very impressive things you guys do, and so many accomplishments.
Thank you. Thank you.
The biggest challenges you ever faced, and how did you handle them?
The biggest challenges I ever faced, we handled them publicly through documentaries.
Wow.
Because we said, if we're going to go through it, we might as well share how we're going through it. You know what they're saying? If you're going through hell, keep going. Because you're just going through it. It's like a storm. It's a lot like driving in Florida. Whenever there's a rainstorm, the more you drive, the more you're going to get past that storm. It's just a cloud. Everything passes.
That's great way to look at it.
Yeah.
But when you go through it, it seems like it's impossible to handle.
It seems like it's impossible to handle, but that's when you have to go back into your life's resume and think about all the other challenges that you've gone through in life and how you've gotten past them. Time heals all wounds. So sometimes no move is a move. Sometimes you don't have to react to everything. And sometimes moving forward is a move to get past it.
And also collaboration, you've done so many collaborations with industry leaders and production company. Your production company has worked with 50 Cent and Spike Lee and others. How do you approach partnerships, and what drew you to this particular collaboration?
Well, we now collaborate with some of the biggest names. I mentioned all the people that are on the covers of our magazines, all the people that are in our documentaries. Like right now, we're producing a biological dentistry documentary. The people that are starring in our biological dentistry documentary are the world's best biological dentists, like Dr. Jay Gundy, Dr. Jerry Caratola, Dr. Dominic Nishwitz, or Dr. Fernandez from Costa Rica, or Dr. Volz, the inventor of the ceramic implant. You know, access to these people would have been impossible had we not had credibility, had we not had our own transformation stories, had we not had a big voice and a big platform, had I not been a successful entrepreneur and a very public entrepreneur with a franchise. See, I grew my franchise from one location to 100 locations nationally and sold it. So I had 100 people tattoo my company logo on their bodies. Wow. That went viral. So I had a lot of accomplishments in my life. You know, the collaborations with people you mentioned, like I had Spike Lee in my home. I had a movie theater in my house in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. It's called the Lolli Mansion in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, where we premiered the movie I invested in inside my movie theater with all of my closest friends and executives. But you have to be set up in order to do that, right? So the man on top of the mountain didn't fall there. You have to climb up that mountain, get up there, and it allows you to really have perspective. One of the things I believe in is being a king maker and a queen maker. A lot of the success I've achieved is because I've made other people around me successful. I've made them millionaires. I've made them 100,000aires.
That's the key.
Another secret sauce is mostly women. I've had a lot of women that I've turned into entrepreneurs that I've been able to kind of speak that language because my mother was an immigrant from Ecuador. And she taught me a lot of the things of what it takes to be a strong woman. She would share stories of how she lived in an abandoned building, how she worked in sweatshops, how she barely spoke English, how she faced kind of racism, all these type of things from being Hispanic. She was Ecuadorian. My dad was Italian. My brother was also an immigrant from Ecuador, my half-brother. He also faced those challenges. So I learned a lot from that side of the coin. And I applied those things whenever I worked with women. I was able to speak the language that they understood. Single mothers, people that maybe don't have a significant other supporting them. Yeah. So I was able to kind of create that backbone and support.
Wow, I guess that's the key to creating support and giving back people and creating others around you successful.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you could encapsulate your life's work into message for the next generation of entrepreneurs and individuals seeking transformation, what would it be?
If I could speak into words what it takes to transform your life, I think we're placing anchor with biohacking yourself. Because I realized through our work that if I had done the biohacking myself work early on, I would probably be 10 times, further ahead. You only get one life to live, so far as we know, right? And you want to live the best years. Now, my best years are ahead of me, thanks to biohacking myself. And I'm going to be able to enjoy my wife, my children, my grandchildren, hopefully my great-grandchildren in a healthy way. Right now, our goal is to stay this young, this healthy for as long a period of time. If we could stay at this health marker and lock it in, I'm 48. If I could lock this in and sit down with you here when I'm 98, now we're winning. That's another, a good crop of years to really be healthy. So the best advice is focus on health, because when you focus on health, your mind is sharper. You could formulate, you could absorb more content. Biohacking the brain is so important. And then, getting your nutrition. Once you're solid, like you're a physical and mental athlete, you could attack anything. So that's the best advice. Focus on that. And a lot of that is free. So knowledge.
Wow, love it.
Yeah.
That's the best advice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Anthony.